is Ethiopia. So it was last November that war broke out there, and I have really tried to do some research and try and nail down exactly what happened at the start of this war. And we ran a really good article at antiwar.com this past week from the War Nerd on it that was pretty solid, where it seems about right, where the people in Tigray, which is in northern Ethiopia, they had long been in control of the Ethiopian government, and then a new government was elected and came in, led by Abiy Ahmed, and that government, was not Tigrayan, and so for whatever reason, the TPLF was, I think, probably correctly convinced that they were going to have a conflict with the Ethiopian government. In their conviction of that, they carried out a first strike against the Ethiopian bases in the Tigray region of Ethiopia. But then, rather than like trying to push it and take the capital city, the leadership and largely the TPLF melted away, understanding that they could launch an initial attack and destroy a whole bunch of military equipment, but they couldn't really wage a full frontal war, at least at the time, against the Ethiopian government. Now, it seems like this maybe caused more people within the Ethiopian military and government which had historically been Tigrayan, to defect to the Tigrayan side. And I wonder if the Ethiopian government encouraging, ethnic militias, and specifically the Eritrean, which borders Ethiopia over the Tigrayan region to the north, if encouraging the Eritrean army to come in, which did commit some pretty horrible abuses in Tigray, prompted maybe more people to, who were Tigrayan but a part of the Ethiopian government, to defect sides. At this point, it seems the Ethiopian military is on the run from the TPLF, which over the course of 6, 8, 9 months from November, after the Ethiopian military was able to like push in and take the Tigray region and occupy it, then once the Tigray forces switched to occupation, they were able to drive out the Ethiopian government and occur a whole bunch of losses, including one of the best units, I believe, one of the Ethiopian government's best armor units was lost in a key battle through all of this. And so now this has created a situation where we're starting like October, September. It seemed that the Ethiopian government sounded very concerned about how much progress the TPLF, the Tigrayan forces, were making towards the capital. And this particular week, we even have the leader, Abiy Ahmed, at least he's reported by his governments to have gone to the front lines of the battlefront as the TPLF is closing in closer to the capital of Ethiopia. Now, there's been a lot of war crimes and just general human rights abuses reported on all sides of this thing. The ethnic militias of the Amhara region, there's been accusations there. There's been Amromo, which is another ethnic group, where there's been like abuses against different ethnic groups in Tigray. The Ethiopian and the Eritrean militaries are accused of carrying out human rights abuses. The Tigrayan forces are accused of carrying out massacres and everything. The UN seems to have a somewhat well-documented case here that at least 1,000 people have been detained since Ethiopia declared the state of the emergency, and almost everybody who's been detained has been Tigrayan, and some of these people do work for the UN. The US seems to be taking the side of the TPLF, or at least against the Ethiopian military. It has sanctioned the Eritrean military for their role in what they did in Tigray, and is also demanding and putting all the pressure on Abiy to deal with the situation in Tigray and to bring an end to the conflict, when it seems like you can at least also point to the TPLF, or at least be making the same demands out of them, but that's not happening. Last thing to note here is that Antony Blinken says that the U.S. is prepared, and we have moved special operation forces to the major U.S. base in Djibouti. I believe that's Camp Luminaire, one of our largest bases actually overseas. And those special forces soldiers would be responsible for evacuating the embassy should the TPLF threaten it for any reason, or I guess like the capital city was going to fall, or hell, even I guess the Ethiopian government could threaten the U.S. embassy.